I realized when we reacted to the last Z Frank video, although the video didn't do that well, it was just really fun. I liked reacting to it, and I think I was able to add a lot to the content considering it was fish related because I got to talk about facts that he didn't necessarily talk about or in more detail than what he talked about. So I actually like watching these. And it turns out he has a lot of fish related videos. So he has one on batfishes. I think I've talked about many times the red-lipped batfish, how ridiculous of a creature the red-lipped batfish are. I think it's in one of like my worst named and weirdest looking fish videos. I mean, this thing is just ridiculous. It has like the crazy proboscis. It literally is wearing lipstick. Sits on the bottom. Looks stupid as hell. But overall, I actually don't know a ton about batfish, so it'd be nice.
This is Matthew, a little green fish. Oh, that's not him? Well, where is he? Oh, now I see him. Wait, are you sure that's a fish? Matthew is a batfish.
Wow, I actually didn't see him until just now.
Ogcasophilidae. He's a bit of a rebel. Certainly doesn't care what you expect a fish to be. Matthew is highly adapted for a benthic lifestyle, meaning that he lives on the floor of the sea, not on the roof like a duck do. Oh, there he is. That's his face. From time to time, Matthew likes to take a little stroll. Underneath, he has two pelvic fins that prop him up.
That's so cool.
On the sides, highly modified pectoral fins have evolved to...
It's at that point, just have arms. Just get opposable thumbs already. Why do you still have just modified fins? Those are crazy. Did you say they're pectoral or pelvic? I guess they're pectoral, right? Because then we're pelvic fins. That's an insane level of evolution. The fact that there's nothing that the fact that there's no in between is so crazy to me. This is one of the things that I always struggle with when talking about evolution, is that you can see a lot of times the ancestral form, I forget what it's called, but yeah, the ancestral form is still around. There's some animal that hasn't changed, and then you can also see the highly evolved form. So this is an example of I don't know what their closest ancestor is, but there's probably a closest ancestor, and there's still a fish today that looks a lot like it, right? But then you get to see this, and then it's what the hell happened to there's millions of years of slow evolution is not quick. They didn't just wake up one day with this and be successful. There are millions of years of evolution are at this, and seeing in between is crazy. I would love to see how the thing went away. And that's, I guess, what the point of fossil records are, but even still, we don't get that great of an idea.
That makes me want to vomit.
Are those the gills?
And
is there its gills behind its pectoral fin? Wait, that makes sense. No, wait, gills are usually in front of the pectoral fin.
Put my finger in it. Two feelings, same time. What may look like a literal interpretation of the word armpit is actually Matthew's gill.
Oh, wow.
His skin is covered in little cones and pyramids. These tubercles and bucklers are specialized scales made of keratin and calcium. They form a kind of flexible armor.
Okay, when they're well camouflaged into the reef, you look at it and you're like, wow, that is an impressive adaptation that fish has. But then when they're on a background that doesn't make sense, they look so stupid. I mean, it looks so stupid.
He has a little fishing pole that... There it is. It's crazy. This Elysium... Whoa! This Elysium has evolved from a single ray of his dorsal fin, and it pops out right around where you'd think his nose would be. Most anglerfish, like this frogfish, lure their prey visually, using movement or light. Batfish, however, eat things that don't see very well, like worms and snails and stupid clams. Slurp? So a visual lure would be a bit like waving a cape at a blindfolded bull. Instead, it seems to use a chemical lure, releasing fluids from its esca, that little bulb on the end of its elysium. That really fluid seems to attract things like snails and brings them to the surface.
Is there much precedent for chemical luring? I guess pitcher plants, right? Pitcher plants have a scented chemical inside of them that makes flies and stuff want to go inside, and then they get digested. But in the fish world, using chemosynthesis spray thing is actually really cool. I don't know if there's many things that do that.
However, if you eat shelled things, you have to make sure that your mouth isn't too big for your rectum. Batfish will often get a bit stopped up. It's a delicate balance.
Why did he eat Bro, you can't eat clams or scallops or snails. You can't do this. You don't have the ability to chew. You can't just swallow whole shelled animals. Oh my god.
Batfish aren't the best swimmers. It looks a bit like if your arms
Looks
were
like a
tied to your
pufferfish.
side and you were thrown off a bridge. However, when they spawn, they will swim up and release a little mucus raft for their babies. There are nearly 70 known species of batfish, and most look a bit like the bottom half of a kangaroo that was flattened by a truck. However, you may have also noticed that they all look very pissed off. You try putting on your lipstick with no mirror and no hands.
Yeah, and no hands.
Even little Wendy's
What
pissed
the
off.
fuck is
She weighed
Bro, that's always the shit I'm hoping to come across when I go night fishing for tropicals in the ocean. Give me the most ridiculous, goofy-looking larval fish you can find.
But the main reason that batfish are pissed off is because they're called batfish. They've spent a long time trying not to look like anything you'd recognize, let alone a bat. Why don't you just call a bat a fish bird? That's what they say. And what makes matters worse is there's other fish called batfish too. Here's one, Plantax pinnatus, also called a batfish. Alright,
Those
when
are
they're
really pretty
juveniles,
when
I
they're
kind of see it. In any case, they're trying to resemble not a bat, but a flatworm that does something that even researchers refer to as penis fencing, not kidding. Plantax orbicularis, also called a batfish, tries to resemble a dead leaf when it's a baby. And when they grow up, you know what they do? They follow turtles.
I love leaf mimics, dude. Leaf mimics are so funny because 99% of the time they just exist to look like a leaf. But then when there's anything around watching them, they're like, oh, I've fallen and I can't get up. I'm a leaf.
There is one fish sometimes called a batfish that might deserve the name. Dactylopterus volitans is related
robin.
to the seahorse, but often gets lumped in with the sea robins because they fight crime together. Duh. The sea robins are called gurnards. Think Bernard, but not as chilly and a
I
little
just
more
caught a larval sea robin last night. No, 2 nights ago. I caught a larval sea robin. They're so cute when they're tiny. He was like completely clear. But these fin modifications here are so creepy to me. They're so weird.
And that's a good
I hate
team
them.
right there. The batfish swoops in and the sea robin can handle all the tickling. And that's my point, I think. You want a good partner in crime. Someone who can handle the tickling or swim up and fart out a mucus raft with you. If you're just
It's so
following
odd.
someone around and eating their crap all day, you get out of that
What the
relationship.
hell is that?
No better.
I don't know, man. They're very cute. Here, let me find. I caught a baby, a larval one. Him. Baby striped sea robin. I caught him. He is like, I can't even describe to you, like smaller than your fingernail. He's so small. Look at him. It's like he doesn't even have pigmentation on most of his body yet. Crazy how small and adorable they are.
And scientists, you need to stop getting drunk when you name fish.
True and real. Scientists do need to name fish better. I think honorific Latin is fine, but I think that generally the common name should be somewhat descriptive. Makes it easier to communicate with the public when you're not talking about Swainson's thrush, you're talking about a something thrush, you know. You know how it be.